Hello, Seekers. This is Wild Lee of Wild Fempire and Wild Moon Medicine Collective for Women, coming to you with the weekly energetic and emotional report for the month of May, and in particular, the week beginning with May 2nd, 2022. And just as I was hitting the record button, my beautiful backdrop literally fell down. So we're gonna see if it stays up during this recording. If it falls down, I'm just gonna laugh and keep going with it. So here we are entering the month of May, and I am so delighted and excited. I had to put on my gold sparkles because the energy has just finally taken a shift, and it feels so good in my body. It feels like we've finally made this transition across the threshold into a new season. The liminality has begun to open up, and the path forward feels a bit more clear and secure. So that feels really good in my body. I would love for you to let me know in the comments or shoot me a DM or an email and let me know, how are these energies feeling for you, right? Like, as I'm entering into this space with you, it is May 2nd. We are still in the shadow of the dark moon, which was on Saturday. And we have stepped into the Eclipse Portal, the first Eclipse Portal of 2022, which also began on Saturday. And this one is rooted in the polarities of Taurus and Scorpio. So there's a real richness in this first 2 weeks of May that we are all collectively experiencing together. And as I tune into this eclipses being one of my two favorites. My favorites are the equinoxes and the eclipses, because these are the times during the year where the celestial bodies and the yoniverse support us in shaking ourselves up, in really finding where we are holding complacency, where we are not being really honest with ourselves. And we might be moving in patterns or habits or ways of being that simply no longer serve. And so for this eclipse portal, which is the first 2 weeks of May, we are collectively diving into these concepts of the body, sensuality, emotions, sexuality, power, and recognizing where we might be complacent in those areas, where we might be handing our power away, where we might be avoiding the depth of our emotions because it frightens us or it is beyond our comfort zone. We haven't yet developed the skill set or the capacity to be with the next layer of emotions in our life. Really tuning into, in particular with this Taurus opening, where are we numbing out in our lives? Where are we, instead of tending to the body and her needs? Where do we utilize food, media, sex, alcohol, drugs, whatever your flavor of addiction is? Mine is sugar and salt. How are we using those things which might have an outcome that we're looking for? They might help soften anxiety. They might help alleviate some level of depression. They might help calm the mind and soften if we are focusing really harshly on our loneliness or our dissatisfaction. And those tools have shown up in our lives because at some point they worked. At some point they did the thing that we needed in that moment. And it's fine. Like, there's no shame, there's no judgment. But this eclipse is offering us an opportunity to now look at those patterns and decide, ooh, do I want those cookies anymore? I know that they're going to give me this certain brain chemical response. But how else might I get that brain chemical response? What if I went for a 2-mile walk with my dog instead? What if I had that conversation with my partner and made the request for more cuddle time, because what I really need is to feel intimate and seen and heard instead of lonely. These are just examples. I would love to hear what your story is. We all have them. We all have the things that we're moving through and the ways that we use other things to support our mental and emotional health. And again, no shame, no judgment, right? I think that we're coming to a place in our collective consciousness where we're recognizing, as those in power have recognized for a really long time, that we're all just animals. We're just animals. We're just really smart animals who have learned how to create and utilize technology at an exponential rate. But at the end of the day, we're still just animals with nervous systems, with needs, with desires, with boundaries. And perhaps most of us were not taught how to healthfully get those needs met, how to healthfully relieve and release our traumas, how to allow our emotional responses to be the clearing channels that they were designed to be, instead of suppressing that energy so that we could be more productive. So let's see what card wants to grace us this week of entering Beltane, May Day, this week of really life beginning to flow. We have here the Lovers card. If you've been watching me this year, you'll know that this year of 2022 is also embodied in the Lovers card. This is the archetype for all of us this year. This remembering that we are all truly reflections of one another, and also that our external landscape, our external circumstances are all a reflection of how we are thinking, feeling, and behaving internally. So one of my favorite go-to examples is that when I am mentally overwhelmed, overworked, not performing the self-care that I know my body needs, within short order, my bedroom becomes trashed. Like just trashed to the point that I would be embarrassed to show you. And I have learned over the years to see that as a symptom or a sign. I don't need to shame myself over my messy bedroom. I can just say, oh, look, my bedroom is a mess. My mind is a mess right now. Okay, it is time to step back into my meditation practice and maybe up it to twice a day instead of just in the morning. This is a sign for me to look at my calendar. Am I overloaded with work? When is the last time I had a friend visit with my nearest and dearest so that we could tune in and regulate with one another? When is the last time I made love with my partner? Am I avoiding that intimacy because I know that it is going to bring up some depths of emotion for me? And all of these things are true. In my own personal life, I'm moving through the grief of letting my children fly from the nest. And so there is a lot moving inside of me that could use more tending, I am sure. And so this is true for all of us this week, in particular as we've stepped into this eclipse portal. Where have we been comforting ourselves rather than doing the work necessary to actually bring relief and safety and security to the body in a grounded and more sustainable way, instead of just covering up the symptoms of discomfort? And how can we allow ourselves to see our external environment and recognize the places where we are already being given signals that show us the way home, that show us what is being requested so that we can feel our best and live a life that is truly satisfying and connected? That feels like the Moon Day message for us all this week, my friends. I hope that it serves you well. I hope that you have everything that you need. And I also wanted to let you know that I have opened a private Facebook group called Wild Fempire. And every moon day I go live at noon. I do also stream it here on Instagram, but I am responding and really connecting with this group on Facebook and deepening in there. So if you would like to connect with me, if you would like to dive deeper into the concept of Wild Fempire, the mission there being to burn down our collective programming and conditioning, one woman at a time, so that we can undo our own domestication and step fully into our innate power and truth. I would love to have you. I'm also going to be offering an in-live presentation on May 17th in Portland. This will be at Earthspace PDX for the nonprofit Conscious Evolution. And I'm so excited. We're going to be diving into the topic of leaning into mystery, empowering ourselves through chaotic times. It's going to be a beautiful event. There is limited seating, and you will receive an organic farm-to-table meal during that experience, as well as getting to join in this really fun and juicy conversation. So more details will be coming in the next few days. I would really love to share some intimate live space with you. And if you can't make the talk, we will be offering the streaming live through their website, and then a recording will be hopping on here a few days after that, so you can catch the replay. So again, I hope that you are really feeling the juice of this transition this spring, and that you are able to take good care of yourself. I'll tune in with you again next Moon Day. Bye for now.